Hey tubers, well, welcome to another video episode here on Poor Redneck World. Well, I've got a new project here on the property. Before I go too far into this, I wanted to make a little update. If you follow my channel, then you may remember I had a little light green Chevy S10 pickup truck on the property not long ago. Purchased it a few months ago for cheap to flip, do a little repairs on it and resell. I did some repairs, got the Title 42 processed on it, and put it up for sale on Craigslist, and very soon became completely inundated with calls and texts on the car, or on the truck, and people called from as far away as 250 miles from me. Well, I took a price tag of $1,000 or best offer, sold it for a little less than $1,000, made some money, so yay for me. Well, anyway, that kind of brings us to our project car here. This is a 2001 Chevrolet Cavalier LS. Little brief background on this car. I know a friend that's been trying for a long time to get her driver's license back. I told her a long time ago that when she does, to give me a call and I would try to find her a cheap little car. Well, I got that call a few days ago. She's very close to getting her license squared away and getting it back. So I told her I'd try to help find something, and for as cheap as possible. Well, 2 days ago, a friend of mine called and told me about this little Cavalier. And so I went down there and looked at it. Long story short, the guy bought the car, and I'll do a little walk around here, showing the condition. It's actually pretty straight except for a bit of body damage on the driver's side. Nothing significant. But anyway, he bought the car for a little less than $1,000 at a local car lot, and drove it around, and then loaned it to his daughter, I believe it was, and she was driving it somewhere or another, and the car started getting warm and shut down and would not restart. Well, he doesn't know how to work on cars, and he doesn't make a lot of money, so we couldn't afford to take it to a professional mechanic shop to figure out what went wrong. So he started talking to people, and of course, if you talk to 5 people that tinker with cars and ask them what could be wrong, you're liable to get 5 different possibilities. Well, that kind of frustrated him, and he said to heck with it, parked the car and went to the car lot again and just got another car. Well, I made him a cash offer of $300 on this car. That's about scrap value for this car. And so I paid $300 for the car. So anyway, 2001 Chevy Cavalier. I have not heard it run. The battery in the car is completely dead. The only real body damage is these 2 driver's side doors. And if you ask me, I don't think this is really impact damage. I'd say somebody was changing lanes and wasn't paying quite enough attention to who was where on the road, and I actually think that really looks more like a tire mark rubbing up against the back door there. Now, if it was up to me in my car, well, I'd go find me a couple of doors and put them on there and call it good, but you know, the people that I'm going to be selling this car to, that's really not an issue for them. So anyway, so there's basically the extent of the body damage. There's really no rust on it except for where it's been damaged. Looks good underneath. Interior looks good. There's the interior. The seats are actually not tore up, which is really a great surprise. There's the front seats. The dash is kind of buggered up. You can kind of see where the dash is not too great in spots, but again, I don't think that's really going to be much of an issue. And here's the real plus, is the windshield's in optimal shape. There's no cracks, and this is probably one of the first cars I've bought in a long time that didn't have some kind of crackage in the windshield glass. As for the dash, well, they'll go probably get one of those fuzzy things to put over that, hide it. Out of sight, out of mind. Back door, front door, they open, so you know the damage to the doors is not, it's nothing more than the skin. Needs a good vacuuming, needs a good cleaning out. Nothing real severe. I'll hit it with a vacuum and maybe a little shampoo, and the car actually smells good. It doesn't smell like an ashtray, which you know, it's another one of those things. The headliner's a little dirty, but in good condition. It's not coming down anywhere, so, you know, I think we're going to do pretty good here. Again, the battery's dead, so I don't even know how many miles are on the car. But, being an 01, my mom's car is a 2000, and it's got some miles on it, so I'm expecting to see probably about the same mileage, pretty close to it. Yeah, I found some free money. The car's already paid me back for buying it. I'm assuming the radio and all the goodies on this thing works. At least I'm hoping. Fuel gauge, temp gauge, speedo, and tach, which for me, finding vehicles with functional tachs is 50-50 shot, maybe a little less. You know, the interior looks pretty good, missing a visor, but you know, that's what salvage yards are for. Let's see here, center console. A little bit of, looks like an insurance card, a registration card. This has a Cherokee Nation tag on it presently. Stewart's Used Cars LLC. I'm assuming that's where this car was purchased from. That's a local used car lot. So, anyway, yeah, the battery is toast. No power. And it's been sitting for a while. Oh. The engine, 4-cylinder. Take a look at that. 2200 SFI. That's the engine. Got a little bit of, it had a leak at some point, I'm sure. But this looks to be the factory motor. It's got plenty of oil in it, no sign of water in the oil, so that's a good thing. No coolant in the reservoir bottle, so obviously if it got warm, it got hot enough to boil out, or there is a leak somewhere, and I will have to track that down. But obviously, first thing is first, need to get some juice. Let's see, use a rag here. Alright, Everstart. It's a 75 5N, 630 cranking amps at 32 degrees. Walmart battery. And I like when I find paperwork with them, but it doesn't look as though I'm gonna see that. So I don't know how old the battery is, but if it's completely dead and it's been sitting for a while, the way my luck usually goes is it's probably not going to take a charge. I hope it does, but probably not. So what I'm going to have to do is, first off, see if I'll get lucky and see if it'll, once I put a hot battery to it, see if it'll start or at least sound good. I don't think the motor's bad. I'm banking on the motor not being bad. If needing some repairs or whatever, fine. But in the event that the motor is bad, well, I called a local salvage, you pull it salvage, where you pull your own stuff, and I found a motor for less than $200 with reasonable mileage on it. So if worst comes to worst, I can buy a motor, set it in, go on down the road. I will not be making money on this car. I'm doing this for a friend. And basically this is going to be a for sale at cost. So the purchase price plus whatever it costs to fix it, plus I'm going to tag it so that I can drive it to make certain that it's going to be a sound vehicle. That's what I'm going to charge. So it's going to be an at-cost car, and I'm probably going to be financing it over a few months' time. And I usually don't finance stuff, but I know these people quite well. Cherokee Nation, good through September of this year. So this is March, April, May, June, July, August, September. So I've technically got 6 months on the tag. But anyway, all the lights look good, with the exception there was one busted up front. It was that way when I bought the car, but yeah, driver's front. And I think I know where to get that really cheap. So it's got really good tires on it all the way around. I agreed to $300 because with the weight of this car and the going rate for scrap today, if worst came to worst, I could pull the tires off, pull the battery out, pull the cat off, pull that brand new alternator off, and throw a little bit of scrap in here and take this car to the scrap metal recycling place and get every penny back. So I'm really not at any risk of losing any money here. I'm going to try to keep the total purchase price of this car for them down under $1,000, because they're not exactly made of money. So anyway, there's the most recent project here on Poor Redneck World, a 2001 Chevy Cavalier LS. So I'll be making additional videos on this car as I go along. We do have to come up with a name for it. My 2000 Chevy Malibu I have called Project Silver Bullet. This is also silver. Not going to steal my car's name, given the fact that I plan on sliding this car over to a friend once I fix it up. I'm naming this Project Silver Slider. Thanks for watching. Comments welcome.